Hello and welcome back. This is Greg French. Today we're going to talk about DHCP. This is a dynamic host configuration protocol used quite extensively in the networks for obtaining network information. DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, again it's an application layer protocol used by hosts or computers for obtaining network setup information such as IP addresses, subnet masks, default gateways, and some other information. Here's a little diagram showing a DHCP server and a user trying to obtain an IP address so that he can connect to the internet. When the computer first turns on, automatically it will send out this request looking for a DHCP server. If it finds a DHCP server, it's going to request an IP address and some other network information so that it can connect to the network and beginning browsing services or the internet. Once the DHCP server responds, it will send back this information and automatically configure the computer so that it can connect to the network. It's automatically done, kind of behind the scenes, so you don't really have to worry about it. One of the things I suggest, if you ever have a problem connecting to the internet, turn off your router and your computer. Let your router come back on first. The router is actually going to request the DHCP address from your ISP. Once it connects, once it's configured, then turn on your computer. So you should wait for at least a couple of minutes, then turn on your computer. Next, the computer will now require its or request its own IP address, and the router will provide that for the computer. Oftentimes, if the router kind of freezes up or hangs up, just turning it off and on, sometimes the computer will not automatically be able to reconnect to the internet by requesting the IP address using the DHCP server. So by turning both of these off and then turning the router on first, waiting a couple of minutes, and then turning the computer on, oftentimes that'll correct a problem if you're not connecting. DHCP, what it provides, it's going to provide you a leased IP address, and these leases can go from a few hours to a few days or maybe even weeks. Depends on your service provider or where this IP address is coming from. Subnet mask is something else that is also provided so that the computer knows what network it's on. There's a default gateway address so the computer knows where the gateway is to connect to the internet. Also, there's DNS server addresses. And remember, we talked about DNS. DNS is your domain name system, and this is where domains are translated into IP addresses so the computer can connect by the IP address. Here's if you go into your computer, go to the Start menu, go to Run, type in CMD, you'll get to this command window. And inside the command window, if you type ipconfig /all, you'll get all this information. And this is the information that the DHCP supplies to the computer. You can see that there's a DHCP server here, and it's the same as my router. So the DHCP is acting as a service on the router. Now DHCP could also be a service that's running on a server. In a large network, that would be the case. So the DHCP responds and supplies all this information, my IP address, my subnet mask, my default gateway, so my computer knows where to go when it's trying to connect to the internet, the address for the DHCP server, and also the address for the DNS servers. And then down here you can see I have a lease obtained for this information or for the IP address, and it's only for 24 hours. So within 24 hours the computer will have to make another request before this expires so it can get this IP address released. Why do they have a lease? Well, some service providers can give you a short lease on your IP address, and that way maybe oversell IP addresses for a particular server. Some systems do that, where what they do is they just shorten this lease period so that releases more of the IP addresses for other people that might need them. In summary, DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, another protocol that's an application layer protocol, very needed for the internet. We use it for the computers to obtain the network information they need in order to connect to a network or to the internet. These used to be hand configured before we had DHCP. Technicians had to go in, set what we call a static IP address for each computer, and also put in all the network information that was needed in order for that computer to connect to the internet. But DHCP takes care of that for us in a dynamic, automatic way. So all we have to do is turn the computer on, and as it boots up and as the operating system configures itself, it will automatically request that network information using the DHCP request, looking for a DHCP server. Well, that's it for now. I'll be doing more of these. Thanks for watching. See you next time.